Since my last video was such a major success, I figured I'd move on to another boss that's even more difficult. Tyrant was fun and all, but I wanted to step it up a notch. Today, I'm taking on the giant spider. This boss is a lot harder than Tyrant when you're using only a hatchet. It has an AoE attack that damages you if you get too close. It can grab you for a ton of damage, and it also has little baby spiders it spits out at you and they're constantly hitting you. But enough talk. Let's get to the rules. This challenge is simple. Hatchet only, insanity mode, and only 2 heals. Well, that's it. Let's get into the fight.
Fight! Game!
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Okay.
Okay?
Are you?
Absolutely.
But wait! There's more!
Okay, so it turns out this boss is really hard. I fought the spider for hours across multiple days, and honestly, I did not think it was going to be this difficult. At one point, I thought I was not going to finish this fight. After a lot more deaths and trial and error and learning the fight piece by piece, I finally figured out a method to beat the spider using only a hatchet. I am going to show you the full process from when I first fought the spider to how I came up with the strategy and everything I learned along the way. Initially, I went at the giant spider straight up and fought it just a limit test, and it just beat my ass and grabbed me for a ton of damage. So I figured I would try going behind it when I attacked. When I was behind it, I was able to get more hits in at the start since it won't hit you right away until it roars at you. I also found out it doesn't have any AoE damage when it first spawns until it roars, so you're able to hug the spider and hit it a bunch for free. I realized that you want to leave the interaction about midway through the roar to avoid taking any damage. The spider will sometimes suddenly grab you right after the roar or immediately hit you, and it felt inconsistent. So far, my strategy was to hit the spider a lot, parry it, and wait for it to do its grab animation. I figured since the spider's spawn is next to a ladder, I could just climb it to avoid damage. Sometimes in Resident Evil, when you're in animation, you can't be hurt. So I tried that. It didn't work. It damaged me anyway, basically the same amount as if it grabbed me. So that wasn't an option. After that, I tried leaving earlier as soon as the spider finished its roar. I wanted to try fighting it on the platform above the ladder. This is what I did when I fought the spider using a gun, so I wanted to try it. It didn't work. The ladder strategy had the problem of the spider knocking you off and constantly running away. I had to try something new. I thought to myself, I could use the gas canisters. But wait, that's not a hatchet, so that's out. I also felt like parrying was really difficult against the spider. It's more difficult than most enemies. It had a grab that I couldn't parry, which did a lot of damage, and it felt like it would do it very randomly and suddenly. After getting my ass beat a lot, I started to think. I knew the spider had to go into a specific animation whenever it entered the corridor. I figured maybe its grab wouldn't go into the corridor because of the way it's programmed, and I was right. Not only can the grab be avoided, the rest of its attacks can too. It can't go into the corridor when attacking or grabbing, so that was really my only shot. My thinking was this: fight the spider next to the corridor, and when it goes for the grab, I run into the hallway. What do you know? It worked. I couldn't just sit in the hallway and try to fight it there, because it would just squeeze in and start doing damage by collision. Regardless, I had a way to avoid the grab damage, which is the most deadly attack the spider has. But now the big problem was managing to get DPS in between the spider's attacks. You basically have to perfect parry if you want to get attacks in, so I had to get really good at parrying. This strategy started to work. I would parry, attack, and run away when it tried to grab me, then rinse and repeat. Its attacks were still a bit random, but I was starting to get the hang of it, and I was making good progress. Once I made it halfway through, I had honestly forgotten all about the baby spiders. I was so fixated on just getting as far as I was that I forgot it had a second phase where its attacks change. So then, the giant spider started shooting its spider sacks at me, and it completely caught me off guard. I didn't really know how to deal with it. I never had to think about it much, because in the past I just used a gun. My problem became this. I get halfway through struggling, and now the spider was shooting her babies at me. So I just tried to parry, and it worked. Not only can you parry the spider's web attack, you can also parry the baby spiders when they attack you. It's pretty fucking cool, and also really helpful for this challenge. Even with that knowledge, it was still very difficult because the second stage would get to a point where you are fighting the giant spider and her babies at the same time with only a hatchet, so you're pretty much always going to get hit by something. One thing I learned was during the second phase, fighting and parrying the giant spider enough would cause it to run away and come back after a while. This was good because it gave me time to kill the baby spiders that would spawn after you parried the web attack. Yes, the fucking spiders still spawn even though you parried their eggs. Okay, so that's it. That's all the strategy I could come up with for this fight. There is no real way to deal with the baby spiders quickly without also getting your ass beat by the giant spider. So you're basically always going to take damage one way or another. Because of this, it was really important for me to take little to no damage in the first phase of the fight, so I could take damage from the baby spiders later on. Even after gaining all this knowledge, I still struggled with the fight for a while because it's just a very difficult fight. It is very mechanically challenging and really tests you. But now that I have explained all of that, let's see if I can actually beat the spider, or if it was just me blowing smoke out of your ass.
You're real fast, you know that.
You have no idea how happy I was to beat the spider. I literally jumped out of my chair and screamed. I have not felt that much hype about something in a long time. This was a really fun challenge, way more difficult than Tyrant. I am really happy I did it. At first, I was not sure if it was going to be that hard, but it ended up being extremely challenging, and I wasn't sure if I was going to beat him at some point. But thanks for watching. I hope you had a good time, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll go ahead and put my other videos here on the screen if you're interested in watching those. I'll have the unedited fight on the left side for the spider, and I'll have the last video I did versus Tyrant on the right side. I hope everyone has a great day. Bye.